Oh, hi, I didn't see you sitting there. Kolibas, aka Kolby K, my man Sean Micel, back for another video tutorial. This week, Sean goes through step by step the ways and process as to what he follows on creating compelling headlines. And when I mean headlines, it could be headlines for an email, like a subject line. It could be headlines for a blog post, headlines for a video, something that will be a grabbing headline and a piece of copy or content at the top to grab and engage your audience. It's about an 8-minute tutorial. So back, as always, get something to write with. Either do it on your computer, get the pen, take some notes. Sit down, here we go.
I wanted to do something a little special for you on this Friday. It's come to my attention that one of the things people struggle with are headlines. Well, we'll say headlines slash subject lines. Subject lines for your emails and headlines for your sales pages, landing pages. I would even argue, your blog posts, video openers, just getting the ice broken with your reader. Okay, so what you're looking at right here is a sales letter that I wrote a couple weeks ago selling a magazine subscription. And to give you an idea, it converted at 27% from people who were clicking on emails. And one of the things that I do when I test out headlines is I send them to people and I just want to know how they react. Well, when I did this one, the reaction was, holy freaking crap. And it was like, I asked them, like, well, what are you reacting to? And it was just the headline, this particular headline right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I come up with these headlines so you can use it for your own, devious little ends. And let's just talk about this one real quick. And we're going to come back to this a little later. But what I did here is, you see it says top secret. If anyone knew about the story selling tactics I'm going to share with you, I could get whacked. Well, what I did is I just wanted to have a little fun, not do the standard fare, how to or secrets of, that sort of thing. But what I wanted to do is create a little danger, a little mystery, and of course, no one really thinks I'm going to get killed, so you can have a little fun with this. But the thing is that what it did for people is it gave them the sense that this was going to be something fun to read. And I think if you can make your sales letters either really emotionally appealing in terms of being fun and funny, or really serious and sad, where you get people engaged one way or another, you're going to have a lot of success. And I'm going to show you what I do to do that. So what you're looking at right here is one of my besties, Sherry Teigman, is going to be a fantastic coach in terms of helping entrepreneurs find a creative streak. Now, what you're looking at is not something that's real. Okay, this is just a kind of a make-believe situation. So don't take this seriously. But what I like to do when when I set up my pages is I like to make sure I put a few notes to keep myself on track. So, what the objective is. We want to sell one-on-one coaching, or, it's actually group coaching, but you get the point. What the offer is, what the hook is. Now, she teaches people to be more creative. So their pain point is they just cannot find that idea that gets them excited and therefore gets their, prospective customers excited. So what we do is this. There's 3 different types of headlines I like to use. I don't like to go with a whole bunch because it gets overwhelming. The first one I like to do is what I call the real story headline. And to give you an idea, I wrote a headline. It got a great reaction from people for a baseball bat ad that I wrote, and it was called "The Real Story of a Little," and this was in quotations, "a little dude who out-hit, out-slugged, and out-homered kids 37 pounds and 2 years older than he is." And it really was this really tiny kid who had the baseball bat that was like bigger than he was, and there was a video where he was hitting home runs. And people really loved that headline because it was just like, it was the contrast. It was, here's a little kid that can hit big home runs. So with the story headline, what I like to do is I like to use contrasting elements. So you see here the real life story of a Brooklyn woman who was more boring than watching paint dry, that discovered the secret to unlimited creativity. So this contrarian approach. Boring woman, watching paint dry, unlimited creativity. This person that's reading this is going to go, I wonder what that's about. That's really interesting, and it's a real story. So yeah, when you put story in a headline, or if you just say it to people like, hey, I want to tell you a story, they're typically going to perk up and at least listen to you. It's not a guarantee you'll sell anything. There's lots of other things involved, but at this point, you just want to get their attention. Okay? That's the first one. The second one, of course, is the how-to. And this one, I have to give credit to my friend Lawton Childs. He's a great copywriter. He's done stuff for, some real, not to use the pun, but heavy hitters. And what he likes to do is use a benefit, like how to get this benefit without going through this thing you don't want to deal with. So how to find instant creative inspiration without spending hours pulling your hair out. So if someone is really looking for a creative spark and they don't want to sit there and go, oh my God, I got to spend a week figuring out just this one thing, but I can get it now, that's a pretty big benefit, right? So how to benefit without pain, okay? The final one that I want to show you is the one that I showed you right off the get-go, okay? And what this is it says, you can see here, warning, the creative secrets I'm going to share with you could literally make your hair light on fire. Now, there's a bit of an inspiration with this with John Carlton. He has one headline, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but, I will give you a free gun just to prove I can take it away from you. Okay, now what I love about these types of headlines is that they create, like I said, some mystery, some danger, and most importantly, excitement. Now, you may not think that you have a creative streak in you, but I want you to just consider something, okay? If you could do anything with your product or service that's dangerous, what would it be? In Sherry's case, the danger is really probably surprising her customer. Like, wow, I could really do this. It'll light my hair on fire, okay? Again, you don't have to use this. There's probably a million better ones. But all we're trying to do initially with our headlines is just get them on the page. Get them on the page, write as many as you can, and then you can create variations of the originals. Very rarely do I ever use an original headline. It's always... it usually takes me about 10 or 15 tries. It's just because I'm very picky, but mainly because I just want to see if I can get something that makes me react. And so when I wrote these headlines, I kind of had a chuckle. And there's a real important element to that. It's not scientific. I don't think it's something you can test necessarily. But when I write an email or write a landing page, I try to see if I can get myself to react. Because if I can get me to react, there's a good chance someone who's never come across this before might react too. And if they do, then they're going to be kind of sucked into what you're doing. And that's when you start getting leads, opt-ins, engagement, followers, and of course, most importantly, sales. Okay? Now, the reason why I wanted to present this to you today is I started a brand new premium group on Facebook called Story Selling Live Champion Edition. Okay, right now I'm allowing people to try it out for $1 for a month, and then it's $59 a month after. And what we do is we take the same sort of example, but we do it with your copy, your stuff. So we can, if you're stuck, and a lot of people are, we're going to get on a call, and we're going to, as a group, and we're going to work on your copy, and it's get it where it's to a point you can make sales. It's kind of like going to the Mexican restaurant, ordering the guacamole live, right? And they bring all the raw materials to your table and make it right in front of you, and it tastes delicious. Okay, I'm going to put a link to it in the comment section of where I post this video. But if you have questions, comments, concerns, please hit me up on Facebook.